Hey everyone, it's Suzanne, and I want to thank you for joining us for our Suzy podcast, where we'll be exploring and demystifying some of the crafting world's greatest mysteries. You will also be able to get the show notes and the links we reference by visiting us at www.sosuzypodcast.com. Depending on where you live, what you do for a living, and the potential emergencies you face, your personal go bag contents will vary. If you're Jason Bourne, your go bag will include a variety of guns, several passports, and a stack of cash. MacGyver will have a paperclip and duct tape. Jack Reacher, fold-up toothbrush. And Henry Cavill will have my address programmed into his GPS. As prepared as those gentlemen are, they just can't compete with what I have in my go bag. Let's face it. As crafters, our go bags are so incredibly super bad A that no one can even come close to being as prepared as we are. We could get a call at any given moment to go on an impromptu craft night, card class, or weekend retreat. Our crafty go bag should be ready, willing, and able to spring into action on a moment's notice. There is no time to dally when it comes to making cards with friends, running away from home to your favorite coffee shop to practice your brush lettering, or snatching up your journal supplies for a day at the winery. Your go bag is your lifeline to creativity and relaxation. But what exactly should your go bag contain? And what kind of go bag should you have? It all depends on what you need it for. I have several go bags, and they make life so much more enjoyable. I have my travel go bag with my passport, foreign currency, and my roll-out blanket for sitting in parks. The travel go bag is actually the very first prototype of the bunkie bag that my mom creates. Back then, she was designed to replace those cheap plastic grocery bags, but I snagged one up for my trip to Scotland so I had something to carry with me as I tootled around. It held my snacks, money, book, camera, phone, roll-out blanket, and the little doodads I purchased at the shops. It is somewhat similar to the totes she now carries in her shop, but a lot more simple. The other go bag is my brand new bullet journal bunkie. You are going to hear all about my bullet journal journey during our next month's Planner Series podcast, but suffice to say that I love my bullet journal bunkie. She can hold 2 of my bullet journals, my case of pigment liner pens, and my case of Inkjoy pens, with a splattering of my favorite washi tapes and ruler. I have moved my office to the old shop, so now I can just grab my bunkie bag and take my bullet journal from the shop to the house without having to worry about dropping pens, washi tape, or my precious bullet journal. For those of you who do not know what a bunkie bag is, they are absolutely adorable little bags that my mom makes. She created the bunkie bag that we know and love for our card classes about 8 years ago. The girls needed something to tote some of their crafting supplies to and from my house, so my mom made this little bag to test out, and the ladies were in love. The bags were the perfect size to fit the essentials of scissors, tape, embossing buddy, dimensionals, and other items they may want to bring with them. As the years went by, the bunkie evolved, and she gained a few more sisters. She now has the bunkie, junkie bunkie, creativity tote, Misty zip bag, and the mini Misty zip pouch, along with accessory pouches, covers for your crafting machines, and I think she has a few more items up her sleeves that she'll be rolling out later this year. All in all, her bags are definitely designed for the crafter on the go and make the perfect go bag. We are having a bunkie blog hop with myself, Mom, Justine, Kimona, Josephine, and Jennifer this week, so you'll have to join in on the fun to see what they keep in their bunkie go bags. We will have a link in the show notes if you'd like to check it out. Plus, there's a $20 gift certificate up for grabs for one person who comments on each of our posts. Now, as exciting as it is to see what is in our go bags, I wanted to find out what other crafters included in their bags. So I decided to do a poll in the So Suzy Facebook group, and those ladies are definitely prepared for anything. We have compiled their items into one fun list. And the top 5 items to have with you in your go bag are adhesive, scissors, Misty, paper cutter, and foam tape, which ran a close second to these must-have items that the girls threw in for fun: wine, snacks, margaritas, Cabana Boy, seat cushion, and chocolate. Now, let's face it, those are all very important items to bring with you, especially that Cabana Boy. I shouldn't have to waste precious stamping time getting my own drinks and snacks. A Cabana Boy should definitely be available. But in all seriousness, if you do travel a lot for card classes, retreats, or getaways with your friends, you need to be prepared, but also conscientious of a few things. And this goes for the event coordinator as well as the attendee. How far are you traveling? And is there an airplane involved? What supplies can you take on a plane and what can you not? For those of you coordinating an out-of-town event, supply the scissors and anything else sharp. Do not make your travelers stress out about TSA rules and restrictions. Keep in mind they may not want to check their bag or pay the additional fees. They're spending money to travel, spending money on the hotel, and spending money to attend. Do not make it more of a hardship with requiring them to bring bulky, sharp items. And Marcy, Gina, and Chris, I hope you're listening for your chunky retreat in June. Scissors, paper cutters, and anything larger and sharper than the Misty should probably be provided. For those of you coordinating classes where your attendees are local, let your people know what they need to bring, or better yet, what you are supplying. I have been teaching classes and hosting retreats since 2008, and I have definitely spoiled my ladies. I used to provide all the supplies, including tape, but then I nixed the tape and I required them to bring their own. Other than that, I supplied everything else. If they wanted to bring their bunkie bag with their small supplies, that was perfectly fine. But the only thing they needed to bring was tape. If they didn't have any, I would have some on hand for them to purchase. As far as I was concerned, I am hosting. They are paying, and I will provide. I don't want someone to leave disappointed in their cars because they didn't have any foam tape with them. And I also didn't want someone to not come because they didn't have $100 worth of crafting supplies to make a few cards. Talk about rude and alienating the people who may want to get into card making. Obviously, this does not hold true for those of you hosting crops or open craft nights. If it is an open crafting shindig, your guests should be bringing their own goodies to work on and tools to use. For those of you attending a class or retreat, when it comes to packing up your go bag, think about the space available to you. If it is a card class, picture your workspace as the size of a placemat. What all do you have room for? If you're planning on bringing your Misty, the mini Misty may be the better one to take along, only because space is limited and you don't want to bump into someone else as they're working. The mini Misty is a great size for card classes and retreats since when fully open, there's still room to work and have space for your other supplies and tools. If you are bringing your Misty with you, make sure that you put the stamp back onto the original acrylic block straight. Don't haphazardly place it on there crooked. The instructor took the time to put it on there just right, and it is not fair to the next person if you put it on crooked and they ruin their card. Be mindful of your actions and don't act like a buffoon. If you're bringing your bunkie bag with you, purchase a purse hook so you can hang it from the table and not take up space by putting it on top. You can always put it on the floor, but it never fails. There is that one person who will kick it over or spill their drink on your bag and ruin your supplies. You're also going to want to make sure you put your name on everything. Be prepared for people to ask to use your scissors, Misty, tape, or anything else you brought with you. If you don't want to share, don't bring it. If it's sacred or valuable, don't take it with you. Use supplies that are expendable. Many times, a pair of scissors have ended up going home with someone else. Not out of malice or spite, just because things get crazy and people are naturally trying to clean up their mess. They're on autopilot. It happens, so be prepared for it. You can help to alleviate lost supplies by using and then immediately put them back into your bag instead of sitting them on the table. Tie a special colored ribbon around your scissors, wrap washi tape around your tools, put your name on your tape, place a tracking beacon on your Misty, but be responsible for your items. What I recommend for the ladies who take my classes or attend my retreats to bring with them are tools and items that will help them make their card easier. Tools like their favorite adhesive, a mini Misty, an embossing buddy, a mini Versamark pad just in case some bozo ruins the ones for the class, a pick-me-up for rhinestones and pearls, glue dots, white gel pen, a pen to sign the back of their cards, bone folder if they want to crease their card more, wipes, sponge if they're a sponging addict, a distress tool if they like to distress the edges of their cards, scissors, dimensionals, or foam tape. These are all small items that will easily fit inside of a bunkie bag, and although they are not required or necessary, these items are a great start for putting together your card maker go bag. The biggest factor when putting together any go bag is to make sure you have the items needed for your on-the-go hobby. My cross-stitch go bag has everything I need for the project I'm working on. My floss organizer with the colors I need, my pattern, needles, extra needles, scissors, post-it flags so I can place them where I left off, pencil for marking which lines I finished, wipes for my fingers, and a soft cloth just in case it's dusty. When I want to work on my sewing, I could just grab the bag and go. I don't have to worry about looking for everything all over the place. It makes sitting down and sewing so much more convenient. And that's what your go bag is. It's about convenience. It's about being able to take that time for yourself. Sometimes we only have a small window of time. We don't want to waste it looking for our supplies. I want to grab my brush lettering book and pen and get to practicing, not spend 10 minutes looking for the correct marker or pen to use and another 2 finding the practice sheets to print off. I want to grab and go. I want to put MacGyver to shame. I want Jason Bourne to envy my survival kit, and I would rather have Henry Cavill not have to check his GPS to find my house. Hey, a girl can dream, right? So, what do you have in your go bag? If you don't have one yet, what are some of the things you're going to put in your new go bag? Let us know in the comment section of our show notes. We will also have links to Simply Charming bags where you can find your favorite bunkie bag, as well as the link to our bunkie blog hop. Also, as an FYI, we have an exciting announcement happening on Monday's Made It Happen Monday podcast that includes a change to our show. So please tune in and hear what sort of exciting things are happening in our future. Today's podcast is sponsored by My Sweet Petunia and the Misty. If you have never tried the Misty or haven't a clue as to what it is, it truly is a game changer in the world of stamping. There is nothing worse than putting the finishing touches on a card only to stamp the sentiment crooked or having it only do a partial impression. With the Misty, not only can you restamp as many times as you want to get the perfect image, the Misty will also help to ensure that every stamp is straight the first time. She truly is the most incredible stamping tool invented. So until next time, this is Suzanne, and you have been listening to the So Suzy podcast. Happy stamping!